yung maliliit na negosyante po, sila po yung pinaka natatakot kapag nilalapitan po sila. No, our micro and small enterprises, feeling po nila walang mapuntahan, walang mahinga ng tulong. Sila po yung pinakatakot na takot kapag merong nangongorap po sa kanila. We invite the Chinese Chamber. Alam niyo po yung Chinese Chamber, they will say openly, ease of doing business. May problema kami sa ease of doing business. Pero pag kayo-kayo lang, ang sasabihin nila, corruption po ito. Pero hindi ho yan masabi namin di ho namin yan masabi in public. Ang sasabihin namin in public, ease of doing business yung problema namin. But they actually mean corruption. What is the commitment of BIR? Kayo po, bago po kayong commissioner ngayon, what is your commitment to address these concerns of our small and medium business owners?
Senator Bam, is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Unang-una po, let me premise by saying that in the previous campaign this year, sa lahat po na naikutan ko, local chamber, Philippine chamber, Chinese chamber, ito man ay sa probinsya o dito po sa syudad, grabe po talaga ang complaints ng mga negosyante pagdating sa BIR at sa LOA. No? Paulit-ulit po yan. Yung mga LOA, yung mga assessment, walang basihan, or kung masyado mang mataas, ginagawang mataas para lang po mag-settle. No? So yun po, paulit-ulit yan. And I'd like to commend Senators Tulfo and Ejercito for taking on this issue. We'd also like to commend the new commissioner and the new secretary for taking this issue head-on. Pero gaya po na nakita natin sa DPWH, kapag pupunta po tayo dito, talagang posibleng marami ho tayong ma-uncover. No? At una pa lang ito, Mr. Chairman, if I'm not mistaken, unang hearing pa lang ito. So let me ask questions first with regard to policy. No? Ilang LOA po ang naibigay for 2023, 2024, and 2025? I understand na kukonti lang naman ang natatamaang taxpayer. But how many LOAs were actually meted out, no? Commissioner Mendoza or former Commissioner Lumagi, baka may mga stats po kayo or Secretary Go?
Yes, Mr. Chair. For 2023, a total of 62,462 letters of authority were issued. In 2024, 75,510. And from January to October of this year, a total of 82,145, Mr. Chair.
Are these LOAs protected by any privacy rules or are these public data?
Yeah. We cannot divulge on the particular taxpayer information.
Why not?
Under the unlawful divulgence rule of National Internal Revenue Code. Meron kasi tayong provision sa National Internal Revenue Code na certain information involving taxpayers cannot be divulged by the Bureau of
But
Internal Revenue.
Mr. Chairman, am I correct that this information can be provided to the committee in an executive session? So
Yes,
ganito po, Commissioner. Yung sinasabi po ni...
Senator Bam, just to address that particular issue, no? Baka pwedeng redacted na lang.
Yes.
Public hearing, redacted na lang natin yung mga dapat na hindi ipakita sa public.
No,
Pwede ba yun?
Yeah.
Information that are, sensitive or confidential, takpan na lang natin.
Yes, Mr.
Salit
Chair.
na papasok pa tayo, mag-executive session pa tayo. Baka pwedeng ganun
yung
lang.
pangalan po ba ng kumpanya, is that already protected by secrecy?
That's covered, Mr.
It
Chair.
is, okay.
Opo.
So ito po yung intention ko eh. So unang-una, yung nabanggit ni former Commissioner Henares kanina, kung may natanggap na LOA na wala naman sa listahang ito, hindi yung totoong LOA. No? May nagsascam sa inyo. And these fake LOAs might actually come from officials of BIR. No? Aminin na po natin. So unang-una, kung transparent po tayo, makikita natin kaagad kung totoong LOA ba to o hindi. No? That's my intention, kaya dapat itong mailabas sana. So people can check kung itong LOA ba na to ay talagang valid o hindi. Pangalawa, baka po kayo na po mag-analyze, ma-analyze natin kung merong nire-repeat na ino-audit kada taon. Sabi nga po ni Commissioner Henares, kung kada taon pare-pareho ang ino-audit, posibleng may red flag po doon. Are you already doing an analysis on the past 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years worth of data, Mr. Commissioner?
Yes, part po ng trabaho meron po tayong ginawang technical working group that will propose recommendations on our audit processes. At kasama po ito sa tinitingnan nila.
Sige, and we would suggest that maybe the committee might also take a look at this to provide its own analysis, di ba? Isang tanong, kunyari, ano po sa mga lugar po sa ating bansa ang pinakamaraming LOA na ini-issue? You know, these are questions that we can, when answered, can help us find out more, di ba? Pero siguro po, kasi alam ko sila, Senator Javin, Senator Erwin, humihingi ng LOA, kwentong LOA, and I know that many in the business sector are hesitant to come out. But if we had this level of transparency, Mr. Commissioner, palagay ko, baka po maraming mahikayat na maglabas rin ng kanilang kwento pagdating po sa panggigipit o pagdating po sa pangingikil, no? Sige po, do you have that data? Which area issued the most LOA?
We have the most number of LOAs from these revenue regions, Mr. Chair. Manila, Caloocan City, Quezon City, South NCR, Makati City.
And probably because mas maraming negosyo dito
Yes,
po sa Metro Manila. Okay. Ano po yung... Yes,
Interjection,
SP.
Senator Aquino, Mr. Chairman, with your permission. Kasi binanggit mo yung yung they can check. You can check kung yung LOA ay nasa listahan, tama, nasa system, di ba? Paano kung yung businessman, hindi ba pwedeng yung business owner pwedeng ma-check niya kung yung LOA ay nandoon sa system?
I don't think kung may access ang external stakeholders po doon sa system. But meron po kaming system, yung ELAMS, kasi ang mga LOAs naman po natin are electronically generated.
Oh,
So
pero,
meron po
di ba,
tayong system na...
para ma-check ninyo na kung nasa system. Oh.
Kami po malalaman po namin.
Correct. Kayo.
Pag meron hong taxpayer na nagdududa kung yung ba talagang tinanggap niya na letter of authority ay
Oh.
authentic or talagang official, po pwede ho silang pumunta sa opisina namin at
That'll take
i-check
time.
namin.
That'll take time. Naipit na sila. Bago makarating sa inyo ang reklamo, hindi natin alam kung malapit sa inyo o hindi malapit sa UIR o baka yung may kinalaman din yung pagtatanungan niya. Diba? So, meron tayong kasabihan an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. Beats a pound of cure. Prevention yun. Kung meron kayong system, pag-aralan nyo na maglagay ng system na pwedeng i-check ng business owner kung totoo yung LOA.
Yes.
Imbis na, malaking matulong nun siguro. Senator Aquino, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, nabanggit niyo po kanina, lahat ng LOA moving forward may approval po ninyo.
O yan po ang plano natin na before the law is issued, it has to be cleared first by the national office.
Okay, meaning kung meron pong LOA na may issue na meron pong fraud o meron pong corruption, you are taking this on and you will be responsible for that process.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, so I commend you for that, Attorney Mendoza. Mabigat po yan because 62,000 po yan, napakarami pong cases po niyan. Now, ano po yung nais po natin makita? Unang-una, sana po wala na sa RDO ang kapangyarihan to audit on their own. And if you are taking this on, I would commend you for that, no? So ngayon po ang commissioner na mismo, meron na ring responsibilidad sa pagpili ng mga pwedeng ma-audit. So number one, okay po yan. Baka pwede po at the RDO level, we can institute a truly random manual audit. No, we've been talking about this for a long time. Na at the smaller area, it's truly randomized. Meaning wala pong mga pinag-iinitan o mga favorite na sinasabi nila. It's really random. The assessment is made and if an audit is done and there's a proper payment, they cannot be audited again for 3 to 5 years. Hindi ho ba in the previous administration may parang may ganong klasing programa na may 3 to 5 years na hindi ka pwedeng ma-audit? Si Attorney Lumagi was raising his hand. Meron po ba?
In connection with that po yung random na audit po. Ang during my time kasi po yung focus po na ginagawa natin ay yung one of the focus areas digital transformation or yung digitalization. Ang isa pong ginagawa po natin, we were trying to make that yung tax modernization program, and we started it a few years ago yung automated audit selection program, meaning wala pong human intervention ang pagpili ng LOA, and we started it because the entire tax modernization program has not yet finished and marami pang problema sa mga data kaya hindi po namin magawa 100%, but during my time we started with 30% of the issuance ng isang supposedly isang like dito sa Batas. 30% po niyan dapat automated at walang human intervention ang pipili because of the meron po kasing criteria kung papaano ka po pa dapat ma-audit. Hindi naman ito walang kumbaga this is not entirely discretionary. Meron pong set criteria kung paano ka masasama sa audit, like kunyari may below benchmark ka, subject ka for audit, may mga enumerated yan dun sa operations memorandum. So in-encode po yan sa computer para kapag ka-submit ng mga financial statements ng mga kumpanya, automated po, computer ang pipili. But again, since hindi pa perfect yung system, kaya talagang titingnan pa rin may manual audit selection.
Commissioner, is this connected to the fake receipts program or iba pa po ito sa fake receipts program?
Iba pa po yan. Yung sa fake receipts po kasi may nahuli tayo na yung sindikato po na nagmamanufacture, ang negosyo po talaga nila ay magtayo ng maraming kumpanya that would cater to all businesses. Iba't ibang industriya po yan. Ang negosyo talaga nila ay magbenta lang ng resibo. Ang bumibili ng mga resibo nila ay yung mga negosyante na gustong mandaya ng buwis by using these fake invoices to pad up their expenses as input VAT and as expense sa kanilang income tax. So yan po yung nahuli natin, tapos ginamit po natin lahat ng mga data niyan, and that's where we partnered with the Ateneo Math Department na gumawa ng algorithm para mahuli po yung mga gumagamit ng mga peking resibo.
Okay.
So iba po
So
yun.
what you're saying is with the proper use of technology, hindi kailangan random, pwedeng AI supported yung pagpili ng mga posibleng hindi nagbabayad ng buwis. That's what you're saying, no?
Yes po, that is really the aim. 100%
Okay.
na fully automated ang audit
Okay.
selection.
Attorney Kim?
I was reading their audit program. It did not put there what situation you will be audited. No? So it just said it will be chosen by the system. No? But if you look at a system, the parameters should be inputted by individuals. So if you look at the audit program, the most recent, there's no such parameter. And then I just like to point out, this is the complaint of most taxpayers. No? It seems like the BR doesn't understand that business is a cycle. Today you might earn money, next year you might lose money. And just because you lost money, they will already say that hindi ka nagbabayad na tama. I mean, we should also understand the cyclical nature of businesses, no? So having just discrepancies, yeah, in a sense that there's a parameter, but you should study the industry also, no? Because the industry might not be doing well this year. So if it fell, why would you, right? So that's why some businesses felt that they're being harassed just because they did not increase their tax payment or revenue from previous year. But business is not like that. So yun problema, no? And I think those are the input that should be in the choosing of the, and about your question about not auditing after you audit. That's precisely my time. We did a audit program where we said you can audit only a company, a taxpayer, 2 consecutive years. You cannot audit the third year unless you say he has committed fraud. Or if you audit him, your assessment should be big. If it's small, you have to explain why are you choosing him? Why did you choose him again for the third year? And in that program also, we have a statement there that you should put all taxpayer who have never been audited in a parang tambiolo, no? And choose from it who you will audit, because you want just to make sure that they're in compliance. Not so much that you're saying that they're not complying. It's just to put them on their toes, no? That from time to time you will get audited.
That's a good point. Let me ask si Attorney Charlie. Meron na bang nalowa na tama ang kanilang pagbabayad ng buwis?
Okay ko naman po.
Meron naman po,
Yeah,
out of the
I'm sure
62,000.
Yeah,
Pinuntahan na examiner, tama ang binayad, at sabi, check, tama po kayo. Meron naman po.
may na-audit ho na wala namang findings.
Yes,
Meron din po.
meron din.
Meron din po.
Okay, sige. So ano yung, maybe to wrap up, no? Ano yung mga nais natin makita? Unang-una, thank you, Commissioner, na inaako ninyo yung responsibilidad na any LOA from now on needs your approval, no? Because right now, kung meron na pong magko-complain sa amin, alam na ho namin kung sinong pupuntahan, no? And in fact, Mr. Chairman, if we have a second hearing, I would really suggest we have the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, we have the different MSMED councils, kasi yung maliliit na negosyante po, sila po yung pinaka natatakot kapag nilalapitan po sila. No, our micro and small enterprises, feeling po nila walang mapuntahan, walang mahinga ng tulong. Sila po yung pinakatakot na takot kapag merong nangongorap po sa kanila. We invite the Chinese Chamber. Alam niyo po yung Chinese Chamber, they will say openly, ease of doing business. May problema kami sa ease of doing business. Pero pag kayo-kayo lang, ang sasabihin nila, corruption po ito. Pero hindi ho yan masabi namin di ho namin yan masabi in public. Ang sasabihin namin in public, ease of doing business yung problema namin. But they actually mean corruption. So, Mr. Chairman, if we can invite, actually we invited them but they're not here, no? If we can ask them to come and they can represent the businesses that they represent para makapag-usap po tayo ng maayos. Now, yung random audits po, lessening the power of individuals or the RDOs and the examiners to choose kung sino po yung ma-audit, I think that's welcome. For Secretary Go, ito pong nilolowa po natin, magkano po ba talaga ang pinag-uusapan natin dito na collection? Is it a huge amount compared to the total collections that we need as a country? Or maliit lang po ito?
Mr. Chair, the total collections from these so-called enforcement activities are as follows. In 2023, 63 billion. In 2024, 85 billion. And in 2025, as of October, 78 billion. Roughly po, this is about, well, Attorney Lumagi earlier said that it's roughly around 3% of total collections in recent years.
Okay, it's 3%. Sa tingin niyo po ba understated? Malaki rin siya, hindi po siya maliit na pera. Malaki rin po siya. Do you think, Secretary, that those numbers are understated, meaning it should have been higher, or do you think it should have been lower? Ano pong tingin niyo po? Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Chair, I think it's very hard to speculate. That's a very hypothetical question that I think is quite difficult to respond.
Sige po, maybe a more direct question. Secretary Go, you're of course very known in the business world, in the business sector. Meron din po sigurong lumapit sa inyo at nag-complain tungkol sa BIR.
Absolutely, sir. As a Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs for almost 2 years, the biggest complaint of every investor that has come through my office is the BIR.
Investor meaning foreign firms or local firms?
Both, sir, but mostly foreign.
Foreign, okay. At ito pong mga moves po natin, including this hearing, this is trying to address these concerns, Mr. Secretary. At 3% of collection, kung 3% po yan ng collection, is there a way for us, if more taxpayers just had an escalation every year, I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk policy and hypothetical. If taxpayers agreed to have an escalation every year in terms of their tax payments, can that excuse them from a LOA?
I think that may not be following the law po.
So we can't, but of course, that's why we're here. We can of course amend the law. But would that be feasible? Kunyari, if I escalate at 5% increase, I'll ask Attorney Kim kasi she's shaking her head. Hindi ho yan sound na policy. Kunyari, I'm a taxpayer. In-audit ako ngayon, 10 million. Next year, I agree to increase that by 5% or based on GDP or what. And then that saves me from talking to the BIR, for example. Can a program like that be instituted or that's not possible right now?
Mr. Chair, the tax rates are very specific in the law. For example, the corporate income tax rate is very specific. The value-added tax rate is likewise very specific. So I think to increase based on, for example, in your example of GDP, would probably be prejudicial to those whose businesses have actually gone down, and would be a reward to those businesses who actually have done extremely well.
Better.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I get that, Mr. Secretary. But tingin ko po even for the businesses na medyo lower, just to make sure na hindi ako kakausapin ng BIR, willing ako magbayad ng premium. No? I mean, ganun ang nangyayari po ngayon. And that's common right now to many businesses. No? But I guess what you're saying is the laws don't allow for this yet.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Attorney Kim?
Because your presumption is that he's paying the right tax in the first place. But unfortunately, I think 80% of businesses are not paying the right tax in the first place. That's why we need letter of authorities. Because although you're just collecting 3%, the letter of authority push people to comply. If you don't have the letter of authority, this compliance here will fall. Kasi nobody's afraid of being checked. I mean, the letter of authority in itself, whatever you collect from that, pushes compliance. So
Yes, but it pushes compliance. It also can create systems of corruption.
But the thing there, you should solve the problem.
Mhm.
You do not create another problem to solve a problem. You should kick everyone to do their job
Okay,
properly.
let me go back to my question earlier. Kasi po, sa palagay ko kung mailantad po natin yung mga naloa at ma-analyze natin ng maayos, mas makikita talaga natin kung ano po yung ugat ng mga problemang lumalabas ngayon. Of course, the Secretary and the Commissioner are here, and it seems that you're quite serious about addressing this issue. Would you be able to do an analysis of the last 3 years, and we can let members of our offices and the committee also maybe join, and from there we can really find out kung meron mga fake LOA, kung may mga inuulit-ulit na ino-audit, kung merong mga assessment na napakataas initially tapos napakababa ng settlement. We'll be able to find all of this out if we have that data. No? Secretary, are you undertaking this kind of analysis or investigation? And would you be willing to share that with the committee, even in executive session, if ever?
Mr. Chair, all the investigations are actually being conducted at the bureau
Okay.
level, no? At the office of the commissioner. But of course, with my support and my guidance.
All right. Commissioner, nabanggit, hindi ko na po uulitin, pero itong gantong klaseng analysis at investigasyon, maaari niyo po bang gawin ito kasama po ng komite?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will fully cooperate with the committee.
Okay, ano po ang last question? Commissioner, marami pong nakikinig sa atin, no? At marami pong mga maliliit na negosyante, small and medium in particular, who are really concerned and worried about yung mga LOA or yung kinakwento po nilang harassment. Anong reforma po ang gagawin po ng BIR o ginagawa ng BIR para ma-address yung concerns ng mga negosyante po natin?
Yes. Meron ho tayong napapag-usapan po kanina yung audit program. Meron naman po tayong existing audit program. In fact, napakarami na ho nating issuances. No? More prominent of which is yung RMO 6-2023. Meron ho kasi tayong dalawang klase ng audit, yung mandatory audit and yung priority audit. So with respect to certain transactions or taxpayers, meron ho talagang mandatory audit. Example is those taxpayers retiring from business, BIR mandatorily conducts audit of them. Or for example, those that have undergone corporate restructuring.
Those are current programs that you're doing. I'm talking about yung current concerns, yung mga nagsulat po kay Senator Erwin, kay Senator JV, mga bumubulong kay Secretary Go, bumubulong po sa akin, bumubulong po sa ilan sa inyo na may mga concerns po sila. Ang pakiramdam po kasi nila, wala silang matakbuhan. No? Wala silang matakbuhan. Ano po ang pwedeng gawin ng what is the commitment of BIR? Kayo po, bago po kayong commissioner ngayon, what is your commitment to address these concerns of our small and medium business owners?
Well, definitely, Mr. Chair, we commit to address these concerns. That is why immediately we suspended the
Opo.
issuance of
Okay.
letters of authority and mission orders, and we created a technical working group to study all of this, and they will come up with recommendations. Nabanggit ko po yung audit program kasi right now ho kasi meron naman talagang risk-based parameters for issuance of letters of authority. Hindi naman po randomly
Yes,
na nagkakandak
we're
na lang
talking
tayo ng
prospectively kasi.
Oo.
I'm talking retroactively. No? Yung mga current na may
Yeah.
concerns po.
One ho, Mr. Chair, is meron ho kasi tayo ng IRIS audit module. Ang problema nga lang ho, hindi pa siya fully operational. Ang idea niya is supposedly, it is the system that will determine the taxpayer that will be audited based on the existing tax information that are already contained in the system. Meron na po tayo nun. Ang problema lang ho, hindi po siya fully operational. So that is one reform ho. Make sure that this will be fully operational so that mami-minimize ho natin ang discretion sa pag-determine ng taxpayer that will be subjected to audit.
And I'm commending you for that. But that's moving forward. Ang tanong ko po, yung mga current na nagka-problema o may current na problema. For example, tatawagin ho natin yung mga chambers of commerce dito po in the next hearing. Maghaharap-harap po tayo, di ba? Can they share their stories directly with you and expect action?
Yes po, in fact po, nag-create tayo ng special email account just for audit concerns, yung tell the commissioner at
And
BIR.gov.
Sabi nyo nga po, daan-daan na po yung nakuha yung...
Oo, binabasa po natin yon at kinukonsider po natin. Marami po mga suggestions doon. Ang dilemma ko lang ho kasi is nagsusumbong sila pero ayaw nilang, they want to keep their identity.
At syempre, takot po sila. Natatakot po sila.
So-
Baka pag-initan. Sa totoo lang.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Tama po yun. At yun po ang balakid sa amin sa pag-conduct ng investigation against this erring personnel. Kasi kung i-forward ko po ito for the conduct of a formal
No,
investigation.
and
definitely,
to be fair to
hululutan
the
yung-
examiners, you should also investigate the information that they give you, 'di ba? Na totoo
Yes.
talaga. Pero yung point ko lang po is nakikinig po ang taong bayan ngayon. Meron silang naging bad experience and on the record sinabi naman natin marami talagang gustong magsumbong. Kung may lalapit po ngayon sa inyong tanggapan, do they fill out a form? They email you? Right now you're saying i-email po kayo. Masasagot po ba sila in 2 weeks, in 1 week, in 3 days?
Yeah. Sasagutin po namin ang concern nila.
Sasagutin niyo po. And we can expect action. Sige po. So maybe in the next hearing, we will ask, and if need be in an executive session, pagharap-harapin po natin itong mga nangahas na magbigay ng kanilang complaint. And babantayan po natin na meron talagang action po dito. Kasi, masabi ho natin, 62,000 lang yan. That's still 62,000 Filipinos who are business owners, who are doing their best for their families, who are trying to provide employment, who are supporting the national economy as well. At mahalaga po na pakiramdam nila ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno nasa panig nila, 'di ba? So sige po, we will also be collating more of these complaints and forwarding it to you, Attorney Mendoza. No? Thank you, maraming salamat. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Robin Padilla is supposed to be next, but is giving way to Senator Tulfo.